Good evening.
All right, the time is now 7 o'clock, and I'm going to call to order the Tilton Budget Committee meeting. And the first order of business is for us to say the pledge to the flag. Would you like to lead us, did you?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next order of business is the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to read them?
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes, my name only has one E in it. Oh, my last name only has one E in it, Lawrence.
I didn't see that.
You got it right on the first, but then for some reason you put an extra E in there. I usually get junk mail with that. but-
Love it. Yeah, I see that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, passed unanimously. I want to make an announcement that we posted our first budget hearing, and it's for February 6, 2018, at 7 p.m. And I'm not talking into this, sorry, Tim. All right, and the other thing is that I think all of you got the information that was sent by May. So we will need to bring that up and discuss it again. Make plans for our next meeting to be late, getting out of here late, because we're gonna really crunch some numbers. Tim is coming in and making this finance department presentation, and then we'll go right into working on actual number crunching for the budget.
Yep.
And tonight we have head of our Public Works Department, Kevin Duvall. Welcome, Kevin. Why don't you come up here and talk with us and sign in, please. And it's good to see Mr. Jensen in the audience.
Sign in here.
Welcome, Kevin. I don't know whether you know everybody or not, but in case you don't, we'll go around and introduce ourselves.
Pedro Gargano.
Pedro.
Jane Allen.
Bill Lawrence. Bill.
Dick Olson.
Pickles. John Scanlon.
Copy here.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, so you'll have to bear with me. This is my first budget meeting, so I want you to see your microphone.
Okay. What kinds of information are you looking for?
Well, if you could tell us where the budget's gone up, where you increased the budget for 2019, and then we'll look at it and we'll ask you questions about it.
Well, my thing is last year, 2018, wasn't my budget.
Correct.
So a lot of what transpired that year, I had no control over. What I did was I looked at the previous year's averages, and I assessed what I had spent in the shop over the last 2 years, and came up with some pretty accurate numbers as far as the equipment maintenance and repair line, and the equipment supplies and things of that nature. I would like to point out that one of the largest changes in my budget is the joining of the director and the technician position. By combining the two, we were able to save a significant amount of money. I believe it was right around
Well, all told, with benefits, it's about
Yeah.
a $60,000 reduction.
Yes.
And also, Kevin was appointed in October to do Public Works Director.
Yes.
And the board just approved the combination of this line this month.
this month. So
What does that mean to be both, I mean, a technician, I understand director, what does a technician do?
all the repair and maintenance of the trucks and equipment.
Okay, so you're basically the Town mechanic.
Town mechanic.
Mechanic, right, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But also work on the PD cars,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, also the police department cars.
Okay, sure.
But you don't do like oil changes and regular services, that's?
Absolutely.
Oh, that is good.
Oh, yeah.
So the, part of this change is that you'll notice in the highway salaries cruise wages,
Right,
you
right.
see the reduction there of 53,000?
Yes.
So that reflects really zeroing out any of the mechanic expenses that were there before as titled mechanic. And all those are worked into the technician. The position will actually be effective April 1st at a new rate that the board set, which is an annual rate of $87.5. But what you see here is the first 3 months are at current wage, and then the remaining 9 months are at the higher amount.
Good.
And for those of you who don't know and who are new, prior to Kevin coming, we paid a mechanic, but we actually sent the police fleet out to, I believe it was AutoZone, wasn't it? Is that? who
Pretty
did?
much.
Northeast Tire.
Northeast Tire.
We
and,
outsourced a lot of work, yes.
We outsourced a lot of work.
Yes.
And it's certainly been to our advantage to have Kevin take over that, so I.
State inspections, the whole deal.
Saved a lot of money.
Yeah, that's gonna save a lot
And
of money.
trucks too,
Yeah.
we sent out a lot of truck
We
work.
A lot of truck work,
And I
yes.
can tell you, more than any other department head in the town, Kevin has gone through his numbers like a finance director. So I have to give him compliment. I mean, he's really gone through things, really examined things, looked at new ways of doing things. And
For instance, you mentioned
Yeah.
new ways of doing things. First thing was I wanted my guys to be all looking the same. So I wanted to get a uniform company back in. But I also wanted to, I realized that we were spending a lot of money in safety items, vests, and things of that nature. So first thing I did was ask questions. Can we get the two combined? Can we get a uniform with our safety requirements for high vis? And absolutely, we were able to get not only our uniforms, high vis, we were able to take and reduce our safety line without increasing our uniform line. We were able to keep the uniform budget the same while reducing our safety line, in essence, getting more for our money. Just little changes like that have happened. Now, I wanted to point out that our equipment maintenance and repair line was grossly over in 2018, the budgeted number. If you were to ask me, I have no idea why, okay? I know that the previous director, I'm not sure what he put in that line to make it equate so high. I know that there was a lot of high dollar items that we did last year, but not to the $27,000 mark. I mean, we did a transmission, we did some springs in the big trucks. There, the transmission was $3,000. The springs all total was maybe $2,000. I did one in-house and we outsourced one because they happened in the same week, and we needed to do it that way. I'm not sure where the rest equates to.
So, sorry, don't mean to interrupt, so you don't know where any of that, basically we're missing 20
Well, no, I'm missing.
Okay.
Now, if I had an itemized list in front of me, I could definitely say, okay, this is accurate, this is accurate, this is inaccurate. I don't have it in front of me right now to go through each
Okay.
one. But
So all of it is accounted for like actual
Yes,
purchases, okay,
absolutely.
okay.
it is accounted for.
Just maybe a little, just wanted to clarify that, that's all. Just
Yes.
making sure.
Yeah.
Everything's accounted for, but up until I believe it's September, when I took over, I have no idea where things were itemized.
Understandable.
When I took over and I started accurately putting things where they need to be, I started realizing that, oh my goodness, there was a huge disconnect with that aspect of Public Works, and that's what I've worked really hard over the last 4 or 5 months to try to correct.
Cool.
So
looking at the previous years to 2018, and looking at the averages, I came up with a $3,000 budget for that line in 2019. That's a more accurate number. 13,000, excuse me, yes. That's a more accurate number. Now we've got one truck that's a 2017, another truck that's a 2013. We have a truck that's a 2006 and a truck that's a 1999. All of those trucks, in my opinion, will last another 10 or 15 years, and then some. Obviously, the 2017, I'm going to expect 30 years out of, because of our maintenance habits now, and the way that we take care of our vehicles. They're washed constantly. They're rust proofing. The whole deal, from bumper to bumper, is geared towards longevity of these vehicles. Now,
What are you doing for rust proofing?
use fluid film.
Fluid film, okay.
Yep.
So you're doing that every year?
We're doing it 3 to 4 times a year, throughout the winter, actually. Everything gets washed, it gets a coat of fluid film.
Okay.
In the summertime, just to go one step further, when we summarize our sanders and plows, everything gets fluid filmed,
Smart.
and then it gets done again, because over time, it goes away. Midsummer, we do it again, and then pre-season, we also do it. My train of thought is fluid film is cheap
Very cheap.
compared to replacing a piece of equipment.
Financial efforts too.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can't think of any other larger changes to
Well,
you.
yeah, so he's made some changes to plow routes and
Oh my-
also
yeah.
the salt and sand, which, while you don't necessarily see it right now in the budget, it's gonna have a big change.
Yes, we consolidated 6 routes into 5, keeping the hours the same. I'm not sure how that, well, I know it's the fact that I kept a plow route, and as a working director, I kept a plow route, and we streamlined all the other plow routes so that people weren't overstepping each other. Everything is more streamlined, which is making everything more efficient.
When did that go into effect, the new plow route?
The new plow routes
Is that
were
already started?
kind of happened with the last director.
So do you have like an in-stone plow route for each driver?
Actually, we just completed overhauling the winter maintenance policy, and it has each plow route specified, what truck is doing what plow route, whether it's a sand-only route or a salt mix. So
they
yes,
don't have-
every plow route is specified, and whose truck is where.
I just asked that because on my road,
Yeah.
I saw the 2500 plowing, and then I saw the International come by later.
Yep.
The same thing.
Yep.
So I just didn't know why they were overlapping so much if we can't,
The International
has the wing, I
has
guess.
the wing and wings back the snowbank. A lot of times, the foreman drives the International, and he's doing his road checks to make sure that everything is getting done properly. And he will, if he has finished his route, it's a standing order. If you have finished your route and other people need help, all hands on deck. And because Wyatt has the 2013 F-550 with a V-plow, he's in charge of doing all the parking lots, the police department, the fire station. His route is very time consuming because of the parking lots. Everybody will pitch in and help him get all the parking lots, fire station, police station, everything opened up. There isn't at any time one person at the shop sitting there while anybody else is out plowing. We're in constant radio contact with each other. Hey, I'm done with my route. Does anybody else need help? And so if you've seen International down there.
I just thought, like, with the route, it just didn't make a lot of sense. I feel like it was just because, no offense, the truck is really small, and the
Yep.
road is quite big and heavily trafficked.
Yep.
So a lot of time, the truck he's working 3 or 4 times the time.
Okay,
I didn't know if they were gonna adjust that.
that
all
road,
around.
that road is a sand-only road.
Yep. So are the ones next to it too.
Yep. That truck is designated for sand only because the larger trucks are needed on the salt routes because their routes are bigger. Now, it's more effective to have that pickup truck with that sand-only sander plowing those routes and treating those routes because there's only 4 or 5 roads that are sand-only. So he can afford to go back and fill up with sand. And then, I mean, Manville, it takes him 4 passes. It's really not that time consuming. Now, Rob was very new to the plowing industry, and he's getting quicker as he gets more time under his belt.
I'd expect that.
So, if you've seen a transition of taking forever to maybe getting better, it's because he's getting more comfortable with his plow route, which in turn makes him quicker at it without making mistakes and having accidents, things like that. But no, that truck is designated for that route, for that reason. I need the bigger trucks on the larger routes, applying salt, keeping the main arteries safe. Manville Road is a flat road. A lot of times I just have them treating the hills and the stop signs, the hills and the curves to try to minimize the usage of material until the end of the storm when we're trying to clean up and finalize the storm cleanup.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point too, because how he's looked at how they distribute the material is going to make a big difference over the prior director and the amount of money that we spent. We really overspent sand and salt quite a bit.
There were some very questionable practices in the immediate past.
And I heard hearsay about it, but I just wanted to bring it up that you started up using some of the old waste stuff for brine mixture for.
Yes.
That was actually a pretty good idea.
Yes, we have there's a catch basin underneath the salt shed that holds 1,200 gallons of moisture that's collected from the salt. Salt is constantly collecting moisture from the atmosphere, and that catch basin is designed to catch that brine. This year we built an apparatus for the back of our sidewalk machine, and we use that salt brine on our sidewalks to buy time, because it'll handle up to 3 inches of snow before you have to actually clear the snow with a plow. So we pre-apply it to the sidewalks, and it will buy us time. The gentleman that uses the sidewalk machine has a plow route. He plows, gets his route done, then he hops in the sidewalk machine and he does the sidewalks. He's a very good operator. He's an excellent operator, actually, and I wouldn't trust anybody else in that sidewalk machine. But it's worked out very well where he does his route. He hops into the sidewalk machine, he plows his sidewalks, and it's been working very well. Having that salt brine pre-treating the sidewalks has helped tremendously. It's already there. It's already there. We're just utilizing it. Yeah, we put it out before the storm, and it stops the ice packs. Yeah, it stops the ice packs from forming. It's easy to plow it and neat
I've
it.
noticed the difference with it, so
Yeah.
it definitely works.
Well, Kevin, I have,
Okay. Oh,
I have a couple of questions
yeah. Okay.
to ask you, and it's not our intention to micromanage, so understand.
Oh, that's fine.
that, you know.
I'm here to answer questions.
So, anyway, I assume that the training is because you do have 2 new people,
The training.
50% increase in training.
The training budget I wanted to increase because I wanted to get more training for everybody.
Okay. Radio communications.
Yes.
What's the story on that, up 200%?
The radios are roughly $1,500 a piece, and starting this year, I wanted to replace 1 radio per year until all the trucks are outfitted with new radios, because last year we had communication issues. If somebody is on Lancaster Hill, I can't communicate from the office, from the shop, to say, hey, we need you to come over here, we got a car off the road, we need you to treat, that kind of stuff. So communication is very important, and I wanted to outfit all the trucks with new radios. This is actually, this will be our second. The new truck that we got in 2017 had a new radio installed, so we got that one already.
I'm glad to see that your equipment purchases is not quite what it was last year.
Yeah, I don't plan on,
I'm saying that tongue in cheek, because we went down last year, every time we
Yep.
turned around, we were buying, purchasing.
It's a new change, good change.
yeah, no,
Um,
no, all of our equipment is in good running order.
I have a question to ask
What
you.
do you spend that dollar on?
Last night, or maybe a dollar.
Well,
For those of you who don't know,
You
we
keep
have to
our
keep
benchmarks
we have to
better
keep
than
a dollar in the
budget,
budget, just so that
right.
line doesn't disappear,
Well,
that's why the
well,
dollar.
and also because there's a capital reserve fund for highway equipment, which I know you're all aware of.
Yeah.
And in order to purchase things, you gotta have a place in the budget to do so.
Yeah.
The selecting our agents for that fund.
I have another one, be
Sure.
perfectly honest about this.
Okay,
Parks budget this year is up 6%.
okay,
And I understand it has to do with the contract with outside people who
outside
maintain the
contract,
grounds.
yes.
I know right now you can't do it, but is there any possibility that come summertime, you would be able in any way, shape, form, or fashion to alleviate some of that?
Yes, in fact, I've already started preparing to take over the parks.
All the time?
Yes. That ties into my wanting to get a part-time employee for the summer, because that would help with that extra workload. Now, we did some research, and the payroll for that part-timer is still less than what we pay an outside contractor to come in and maintain the parks for us.
We actually have two contracts that total about $19,900.
Each?
No, total
Yes.
between the two. But keep in mind, one is landscaping and the other is primarily fertilization, but they both have fertilization.
Weeding, or
Yes.
weed control.
A large part of that is the application of chemicals, and myself and another, my foreman are pursuing our applicator's license
Okay,
for
that was my next
pesticides.
question.
Yes,
Right.
Okay.
which ties into the extra money for the training. Exactly. Yeah, we're trying to become a self-sufficient entity where we outsource very little work.
Sounds like a great idea.
Very,
You
very
try to
good.
take on more work.
I love it. Bring it on.
Kevin,
It's all good, yes.
just a question for you. How many more radios do you have to do on the trucks? How many more trucks?
We have two more radios to purchase. Yes, two more radios, so another 2 years.
Very good. Any other questions?
Looks great.
Thank you.
I'm just
Saving some
worried
money.
that you putting too much on yourself as a technician and director.
No, I understand,
That's
but
the worry
you have
I
to
have.
keep in mind, I've been doing it since Brock left. When did he leave?
The end of August.
August.
It's been
Um,
working out well so far.
Yes, and are my days busy? Absolutely. But it all lies with scheduling and just being efficient. You know, and everybody, I have a great crew that I work with, and everybody has stepped up. It's not all me. Trust me, it's
Well,
not
but
all.
I can tell you.
We have a mental health issue.
As a peer manager, he is very organized and he is very efficient. Everything he says is absolutely true. And something to keep in mind too, that the selectmen encumbered monies for a work order system for the Public Works Department. So that one of the things that we've looked at over the years and we're concerned about is the resource utilization and scheduling work and seeing that we had a more orderly system with capturing costs and also activities that need to be done on a recurring basis. So this software will help them, be able to really give Kevin the tools, hopefully, that will allow him much more insight into where we're spending money, how we're spending the time, because some people could look at it and say, well, it doesn't cost us anything by not having it, but it really does, because the cost is tied up in man hours, and that labor rate that if it's not efficiently implemented, it costs us money for that. So that's something that was approved and will be implemented hopefully sometime by late spring, and if not before. And so that should also give him some tools to be able to better decide if they can take on additional things.
There are a few more things that I'm thinking about to try to reduce costs as well. I mean, I'd like to entertain getting a waste oil furnace there to offset our cost of gas to heat the place. You know, I've shut off half the shop lights during the day that we don't need, and I've shaved $100 off of our electric bill per month. I mean, and that's documented the last 4 months. So,
Don't we sell our waste oil now, though?
no, we don't sell it.
You guys don't sell it.
You collect waste oil?
We do. Yeah.
Okay.
How many
We
big
generate about 200 gallons a year.
Okay.
Yep.
You can probably generate a lot more.
We could,
Yeah,
absolutely.
people do. I mean, I didn't know.
If I had a waste oil furnace, then I could take some in from the public, you know, our residents that need, because I'm always asked, do we take it? And right now I don't, because I don't have the filtration set up to handle the separation of contaminants,
Right,
yeah,
right.
whether it be antifreeze, water, whatever.
So who takes our waste oil right now?
We, Belknap Repair in Belmont,
Do they have a waste oil furnace? We're just giving
they
it
do
to
have a
them?
waste oil furnace that we give to them. yeah.
You know that there's some companies that do offer a service that they come out and pay you for your waste oil. A lot of times it offsets the antifreeze cost because you have to pay to get rid of antifreeze.
Mhm. I was not aware of that.
Okay, we should probably look at it. I know you've had a lot on your plate, you've only been in charge for a
No,
little
that's
while,
fine.
but definitely
I'll
something to look
entertain
into.
anything you guys want me to research, so I'm all for making our,
Looking at, as a selectman, you know, when you're looking for public works directors and that, one of the biggest things over the years has been, there's a lot of weight that's put onto the public works director from all departments, when people come. Everybody's got a honey-do list, and they're throwing them all at the public works director.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, previously, some of the public works directors didn't have the tools available, nor maybe the skill set that comes with being a technician or a mechanic, where you follow procedures and that's the only way you can work. So they were very overwhelmed and things weren't getting done because, yeah, I'll take care of that, let me write it down, and then, you know, they got all these post-it notes and stuff. And so things weren't getting done, and it's wasteful, waste of time. And Kevin's reorganized that in a matter of 3 months. 3 months.
I just don't think we should give away our waste oil. I just want to make sure that we should definitely be selling that, 100%. There's too many people that are interested in buying that. And it offset our antifreeze costs because we have to pay to get rid of that. That's hazardous.
well, we,
Overuse,
we don't pay to get rid of antifreeze.
Yeah.
We, the company that I have, that I buy the antifreeze from, actually takes it for nothing.
They charge you inside the purchase of the antifreeze. You'll
Not
see
that
it in
I'm
the
aware of,
contract.
yeah.
It's state law, so they
So-
have to.
Yeah, so we'll look into,
Same with oil.
you know, some of that stuff, wastewater burner and
I'll do some research.
doing that. I think that's a great idea, because that can give you another 20 gallons a year, at least.
Very good.
Gotta change all the vehicles all the time. And that would be,
Okay. Any more questions? No?
Thank you very much. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for letting us know.
you know, welcome.
Anybody's welcome to
come down to the shop.
I'd love to.
Walk and.
I'd like to see this salt plant.
I won't come anymore because you don't get donuts. I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, I brought donuts once, I'm not
I
sure.
don't buy donuts.
Apples and
Yeah.
oranges.
I won't pull your leg.
Yeah, no, I'd like to-
Yeah, but you need to call me, so that makes up for it.
Let's just take a look at it. Wow. Thank you, Kevin. Have a good night. bud.
Oh, thank you.
You too.
Yeah, get some sleep.
Get some water.
He's awful.
He was a wreck, wasn't he?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Excellent job, I thought he did.
Yeah.
I've got some information on the sanitation. Joe's here, and he's also pretty knowledgeable on
I
sanitation.
knew that's why he was here.
If
I'm
anybody
here
can
because I knew you were gonna be here, Dave.
help out with that.
Recycling.
Is that what it is? Yeah, that's a contract, and actually, the recycling, we're paying $50 a ton to have our recycling removed, while the actual cost that they're paying is around 155?
Now,
155,
Oh,
because
yeah.
we are under contract
Wow.
when we got that thing, and they're, Bernard, our president, guys, are great, and they're like, that's what we said, we're gonna do it, and they're not complaining.
they're honoring it. That's
Oh, yeah.
good.
Well, yeah, they'll just go out of
It's
business,
written,
right?
so.
Well,
I mean, how does that work?
So,
yeah, here's the deal, this is they've got, they put in, I think it was a 3 or 5 year contract.
fine.
5-year contract, and in that, they completely figured out, they got the bins, and they got all that, and they bought a new truck and gave a guy a route, and he's got our town. So, they've got it very well figured out, how long it takes, everything's automated, nobody gets out, you've seen how fast they go down the street. If you hear them coming, and you don't have your barrel out, you gotta run real fast now. And they'll even go back and do it, so they've got it really smooth, and that's why they're able to keep the price down, but when the 5 years are up, I'm sure we're gonna see something to,
I was really skeptical when they took over, and they do an excellent job.
I don't know.
How much does it
I think the
cost?
opposite. I think every time they've been missing, they miss on our road like all the time. They've been knocking over trash cans. I've had to call every single week to get my trash picked up, or
Never.
my neighbors.
Had to call once when they first started, and they
Yeah, it's been problems nonstop.
I just miss it once in a while.
you talk to them.
I have talked to
I miss
all the
that.
people
I
in
miss them
Bernard.
just putting it out.
I haven't talked to Jeannie for her, so I probably should.
More
But
than that.
No,
at Bernard, I talked to Tony.
Tony?
Yeah, I talked to Tony myself, and
Tony
the
will
first
drive
time.
over and pick it up.
The first time he drove over, came over and see it, like called me a liar on the phone. Actually, this is what happened with Tony. When I called Tony, he said, no, he didn't, we emptied your trash. I sent him the video of them missing the trash cans. He came out, looked at it, then decided to come back like 3 days later after they came by.
Yeah,
And then that was the first time, and then the second time, it was just the same thing. I had to call him back. He didn't believe it. Came out, looked, and I showed him the video again, because I have a video and camera from my house, and they just fought me really hard on
They
it.
just drove right past it.
Yep. So it's like, it's honestly like at least 3 times a month I'm having issues. Either they'll knock over the trash can, because I go so fast on our road. They'll knock over the trash cans or knock over the line, and they'll just leave trash.
on your road.
I'm telling you, they move like 30. They're going full throttle from the first guy, and
Yeah.
then to stomping on it.
You should let Jeannie know, and document it.
And I've sent him images of it and videos.
We don't have, I haven't heard of any for quite a while, but it's very important that if there is something that's going
Because
on.
Bernard they told me to call Bernard, our last administrator did. So I did that, and then they've been just kind of deaf on deaf
Is
ears.
to talk to Jeannie Forrester,
Yep.
not even Tony.
Yeah.
Because Jeannie Forrester will be all about enforcing the contract
And just
might
that,
call you a liar or dispute your veracity.
but I have all the
He won't
camera
do that
evidence.
with- He won't do that with Jeannie.
It's
One
just-
of the things, and Tony said, call me, and if he doesn't come back and do it, we'll probably call Jeannie right away.
And last year, there was an issue too in the wintertime because our road wasn't sanded up to their standard, I guess.
Yeah, we
And
did
then,
that.
That's in the contract. If they don't feel they can safely pass on your road.
well, they can't do 40 on it with,
I know, there is
that's
that.
why they can't safely pass. But it was sanded the night before, and it was sanded very well, and they just don't. They just try to use every excuse not to come down our way because it's a lot of tight little stops, and they just don't want to.
You know how hard it is to drive a vehicle that big?
Yeah.
I drive a school bus. Do you know what it's like to go on some of these?
Actually, I
roads?
do have a Class A license.
Yeah,
so,
let Jeannie know, if you call them up
Yeah.
and weren't satisfied with their resolution, then you should let them know. If they came right up and said, hey, we're sorry, it's great.
Yeah, never I'm sorry from Tony. Just nothing but issues.
I've had-
And they missed my trash last week, and I called, and they refused to come pick it up until this week, so.
I
got my
think
trash picked up
Joe's
this week.
suggestion,
So.
if you call Jeannie, Jeannie is the
Go-to.
clearinghouse for any
Yeah.
problems we
Yeah.
have that involves
I would
that
just
stuff.
let her take care
Let
of
her
it.
know.
'cause
I just wanted to be on the.
She's got
noise.
20 of these complaints. You got one, she's got 20,
Yep.
and she can bombard them.
Yep.
What the hell, and we have a contract.
A little more
Yeah.
leverage, yeah.
Yeah,
But and we did agree with him, and we discussed this, that if it's something you get missed, call them up, and they're supposed to come out,
Within,
so-
yeah, that's,
It's every other day they do a different route, so one day they do trash, the next day or something, they'll be, different times.
That's what I was told as well, yeah.
Recycling. But if it's not getting resolved, then, yeah. So that's a.
that was just like the last few
Now
weeks,
we'll
yeah.
keep track, then we'll get the numbers.
And the reckless driving, they're
So
crazy
that-
fast.
On sanitation, anything else that I might be?
What is the burning rate these days?
I want to say it's 67, 80.
So it's more than,
And it's more than what we pay for recycling.
that's why, the only reason I would think we would want to do recycling is because it's somehow,
Recycling is not,
It's not
it's not saving us any money, because if we put it all into the 67, 80,
yeah.
yeah.
we wouldn't have to pay for the pickup of the recycling, just the tonnage.
So that's our company anyway, or the same?
No,
Same company.
same truck.
Same
And
company.
there's really no market for the recycling.
That's the problem.
Now.
It used to be
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago, they were paying for stuff.
Sure.
Especially if you separated it. But now we're doing nothing but single stream, and because of the garbage rate, you get a certain amount, it's gotta go right over to the, and you pay extra to haul it over there too.
Right.
It costs a fortune, but I'm not certain, I come at this from ecology,
Yeah, but it's not working, it's
environmental
not working. The
angle.
ecology is working, because no one's, what are they doing with the recycling?
Burning
They're
it.
probably burning it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
That's what they
I
said on
don't know where
WMUR.
they're bringing them.
Huh?
I don't know where they're bringing them.
Probably dumping them in the ocean.
They're bringing,
On
They pick 'em
WMUR,
up.
they did a
2
story.
years ago, the warehouses in Boston were full
Yeah,
of
yeah.
cardboard, the most valuable stuff, and plastic. Nobody was buying it. And it hasn't got any better.
No,
The sorting standard is getting higher, so now they can't
Yeah.
take it.
And that's sad.
it
From
is.
an ecological
Until the
standpoint.
price of oil goes back up, plastic has no value.
Right.
Glass has no value. And glass has a lot of weight behind it.
Yeah,
It's too bad that should be able to be made into something. but
Yeah.
They need
Oh,
the
it can be.
technology. to
They
do that.
use the glass in asphalt, roadways.
Yeah.
Right.
But
paint.
you can only use so
Paint,
much.
blasting, you know.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
It feels good to recycle, but it's all going in the incinerator at the end of the day.
Well, say that.
They
Well,
are
that's just
bringing-
it.
It really is now.
They
That's what
are-
Bernard's doing.
They are recycling, I forget the facility, last time we asked them about that, they are bringing it to recycling facility. No, they aren't
They're
getting.
burning it.
No, no, now,
They are not getting
They're
what.
dumping it.
did you see what happened, Bernard, now? Like,
I'll
in-
just finish real quick here. They're not getting what they used to get. China's
Oh,
not
sure.
paying the same prices and everything, and that could also be because
Well, their
they're
economy
driving
is-
the
their
prices down
economy is
and all that.
down.
But here's the bottom line. We burn ours. A lot of people don't. But recycling, we're also paying huge prices, okay, for these landfills and to seal them and to close them. They're running out of space and they're putting the taxes back onto the state and back onto the pickup of the things and also special fees to go and create these new landfills. Because,
But it makes more sense they burn and generate electricity.
and how long is the generator going to be going?
Well, right now, it's solid through 2020.
That's it.
But then they have to be reevaluated and reauthorized because the, God, what's the
Something
name of
happened
it?
a
There's
couple
a
years ago,
commission that
almost.
sets the rate,
Got rid of it.
and that's going to be up again in 2021. So I'm on the co-op board. I'm the secretary for the cooperative. And we don't know exactly, we think we're good through 2025. But if they close that thing down in Pentecost, we're gonna have to ship to Bethlehem, which is the closest one. And Bethlehem, and you're traveling up an hour with a full truck, and then you're traveling back an hour with an empty truck. So you've got 2 hours worth of time instead of 10 minutes down, 10 minutes back, and wages and mileage and everything else, fuel costs.
No, but I'm saying, why don't they build more?
Because the state's not permitting any landfills at this point. They haven't in years.
Well, no, I know. That's why I'm saying, why don't you burn it?
Still has
And we
some,
are. down at the incinerator, but at that point, if the incinerator closes, there isn't another one. You'd have to take it to Vermont.
Well, that's what I mean, why don't they build another incinerator?
They don't
I mean,
have to get
it's-
rid of that
It's a
one.
power generator, right?
That one is, it's all about the amount of money that they can get, because right now, the state subsidizes the plant down there. If the state says they're not gonna subsidize the plant down there, they can't afford to operate at the cost for the electricity they're putting out, and that means you have to pay more money at the tonnage down there.
It's kind of interesting, we are under obligation to supply them with a certain amount
We
of
are.
tonnage of trash. If
We
we
are.
don't, we gotta pay for it.
We have to pay whether we
Yeah, yeah.
bring it or not,
Whether you give them trash or not.
Really?
to keep it open.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Joe,
But it does
Joe,
make
you
sense, yeah.
picked the best night to show up.
Concord pulled out of that whole thing. They were supposed to bring, guaranteed 25,000 tons. They're bringing it to the landfill, but I hear talk they want to get back here because it costs a fortune to bring it to the landfill.
And
Well,
also
I mean-
that could change tomorrow,
And it could,
you know, and so
But
it's,
the landfills are, I mean, that's,
that's a finite resource.
it is, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
also not a good way to get rid of garbage.
You know,
We're showing that it's the worst way. Just let it leak into the ground and do all
Yeah, I
that
mean,
stuff.
All that stuff.
Sealed.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have a burn go up through scrubbers, you know, get all that stuff out of it.
We got like $45 million worth of equipment on the top of those smokestacks.
Yeah,
And the guy assured me that oh no, those scrubbers do the job. I said, let's you, me, and your kid go up there and start sniffing fumes. Well, no. Like, yeah, okay.
yeah,
yeah.
all right, thank you.
Talking trash.
Hey,
Trash.
trash.
Well, it's like,
Joe.
But the,
It would be nice, you know, I know Main Street really isn't a big concern, but those little snowbanks are like concrete
yeah,
trip hazards. I just saw one little lady fall down the other day, just trying to get over the bank.
you must have been
Small
watching
banks.
me, I didn't fall, but.
and trying to open your car door.
You know, I mean,
On some of those spots, trying to open your car door with this nice banks there, it's like,
yeah.
holy.
I know, yeah. I mean, I don't see why they can't let them plow just off the side when they're
Or
plowing.
bobcat or something.
Plowing the street.
We have 48 hours by ordinance to remove the, maybe it's 72 hours by ordinance, to remove the snow from downtown.
It's been weeks
Oh,
between.
no, I get that, and you had the guy sitting right here and
Yeah.
forgot to ask him.
Yeah, and I've also seen cars
Point
parked
it
on the
out.
road during snowstorms that are.
He's probably pretty good. We probably come up
Yeah.
with something for
Pointed
it.
out, the probably said, I know, I saw the guy with.
Well, they had to clean
multi-one
up, there was
clean
a
up.
huge mass of debris that took up 3 parking spaces.
Just because the car was parked there.
Yeah, right, it was left there, and then, of course, the wet snow, the next day, it's
Solid.
frozen,
Right,
so
solid.
then it's like concrete.
Yeah, frozen quick.
Yeah, like that,
My
after that,
driveway.
the January 1st storm,
Yeah,
I
Get a
drove in
foot.
my driveway, oh, I'll just blast through this thing. Went through the ceiling. I mean, the thing was, yeah,
Testing the suspension, huh?
yeah, that's a 2,500.
Send it, full send.
I had to go out there with
That's
an
what it
ice
costs.
chisel and break it down so I could get out.
What was wrong with it? Everything?
No,
Oh.
after I drove through the bay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's it.
all right, Kim will be here next week.
Cool.
Did you hear anything from the library? Did you follow up on that, Marina?
I sent out what she had sent me
And what did, oh, okay, all right.
in an email to everyone.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Well,
What
I
did you
think she
send?
was
Did
still
you do?
doing more research in what she had sent out for the
got it.
information.
The selectmen voted on.
I don't think I got
things, and they had some questions.
Maybe I missed
it.
Budget
You on
committee might
the
need to answer.
Budget,
John, no,
I should be, yeah, I've got
What?
other things you sent, yeah.
yeah,
Maybe I missed it
I
tonight.
can send it again.
Did you
It was
get,
very
I
limited
was talking to Heather.
information.
Did you guys get any?
Yeah, I saw that.
Get that
Paul.
feedback.
I saw your response there.
Yeah, I just put in, you know,
Yeah.
I just don't
That's all you
understand why we're
respond.
paying
Yeah.
that much. I couldn't actually remember how much benefit we got because it's not in these figures here.
From CAP, you mean?
Yeah, I don't know what we, the kind of services we get, how much? Is it like a 200,000? Anybody know that? Because it's not listed.
Well, I
with the other
thought,
ones.
she told us, but I'll have to go back to my notes and look.
How much services we're getting?
Yeah,
She never gives
Wheels
us
on
exact.
Wheels comes out of that.
I have all the other towns, but I don't have Tilton.
I thought she said,
I don't think she pinned it down when we talked to her. I don't remember her pinning that number down. I don't remember who asked it. Someone asked it about how much service we got, and she didn't have an exact number, but she
Yeah,
said percentages
I
of
thought I
the
had seen it
services.
somewhere.
yeah, I had to,
Yeah,
it's in,
But
I thought it
I
was in
think
the
Northfield actually gets
1910
more than we do.
in services.
Yeah, yeah. But I just calculated the basic electricity, food, and heating, and I compared those, and we're paid twice than any other town for what we get. What I assume we get.
Oh,
So, I was, the selectman had a question that I was trying to answer for Phil, I was just being quiet for you guys. And that was the information, they voted all their stuff except for the CAP program. They tabled it until it comes back up again because there were some different numbers that, remember, the selectmen wanted to fund it at and weren't sure, weren't comfortable with it. And there were the same questions that you were asking, is what are we getting for that? And also, one of the questions was, why is our rate different than the others? So once we get our answers and compile our answers and get all that, we need to share that immediately with the selectmen. Or if we have any answers to any of those questions tonight, I'd like to bring it to the selectmen tomorrow.
Well, Heather,
this is a number I have written down, and I think it was 208,000.
okay,
That's what I think it was.
I think it was $208,000 back in Tilton.
okay, yeah, I think Northfield is about the same, 200 something. I have it right there.
Yeah, because I had a breakdown, I can't find it, but I know I wrote that down.
Northfield, okay, yeah, they,
And we're giving them
overall, they're
26.
294. I only included, I didn't include weatherization because they get like 100,000 in weatherization.
Yeah.
I just did for emergency fuel and electric was 186,000 for Northfield. And they only pay 11,000.
Yeah, and that's like Tilton, Franklin, and they're paying
Right,
6.
they pay
again.
1,000 for $1.5 million.
Yeah.
But
I know some of the other things that aren't on there are CAP funds and provides the Meals on Wheels,
Yeah.
which goes around to all the houses to the seniors and does a well-being check, as well as they provide the actual meals that are served at the senior center, and they pay for the director at our senior center. So those are things that.
Oh, okay.
So that, those are like some of the unknown. things
Okay,
that
sure, yeah.
I didn't.
For
They
CAP.
also provide drivers for handicapped and seniors, if they're going to doctors or whatever.
The bus.
Not the bus, they're out of Concord. It's a volunteer group of people that will drive people around. We haven't had good luck with them, but they do, that is one of the things they provide.
And I think one of the things, Franklin provides less, but Franklin right now is providing them with the space. So and I think you brought that up.
Yeah, well,
So-
she brought that up, yeah.
And although some of the stuff was provided.
I don't know how much they pay at that Bessie Brown, 'cause that's a,
So they didn't put that breakdown in
City
our
owned that?
sheet.
In the city hall, yeah. But
Yeah.
the city hall is where their office is,
but I'm talking about their senior center.
and their senior center too.
Is it the Bessie Brown, which I believe is owned by the city?
Yes.
It's an old school.
So they need to itemize that on our cap sheet, those other things.
I thought I had an
I don't
email
think it
with
was
that.
that itemized like that.
I think those are the.
We have to know why
information
we're paying
trying to get,
24,000.
What
Right.
the exact
Right.
breakdown is
Yeah.
for
Of
us.
what we
Right.
get.
Yeah. I know it's more than 26 grand, but
Well, 208
And how the
is
formula works.
figure that, I'll have to check the notes.
Well, yeah,
but that's
what
the
town.
biggest-
They
I
just,
know.
I don't think, I mean, all these breakdowns from each town, I don't have one from Tilton. I think I did have one somewhere, I can't seem to find it. But if it did, it didn't have, the senior center didn't have any of that stuff on it. So it's important to be able to see the whole picture.
not, it's very skewed.
It does,
It's
yeah,
easy.
yeah.
Somebody needs to tell us.
Well, you know, that's probably because that would all be kept in Concord, because CAP is located in Concord, and the Meals on Wheels are cooked there, and then they're trucked out to the,
Where do the Meals on Wheels go? They go to every community, right? It's not
Yeah.
just Tilton.
well,
every
the senior
community.
center is in Tilton,
Yeah,
and they serve meals there.
but they go Meals on
And they
Wheels in
serve meals in
Franklin, and
Franklin.
they do Samberton and Danbury.
Not, yeah, well, I don't know, yeah, but Danbury wouldn't, that wouldn't,
They don't have it listed on there, but. so-
I don't know whether they go there or not, I don't know where Meals on Wheels go.
And they pay the director at the senior center
They pay the director at the senior center,
in Tilton.
yeah. And I assume they do the one in Franklin too.
And all of them, I guess.
And they
So
also
how many are
pay,
there?
they also pay, how many senior centers?
Yeah,
I think there are 4.
okay, so, yeah, we're not being special, then we're not getting any special deal then. Because those aren't on.
Definitely
any
not
of
getting a
these-
deal.
these-
Well,
They're not
Opposite
included
of
on
the
any
deal.
of these forms.
what?
The
Senior
Meals
center?
on Wheels and seniors.
No, because those are handled out of Concord, that's where the bookkeeping would be done in Concord, not in Franklin.
Well, that's, what I'm saying is that, you know, apples for apples, we're paying twice as much as anybody else. Because we don't have the rest of the story. And it sounds like the other communities also benefit from Meals on Wheels and seniors, payments, you know, senior directors.
No, because there aren't senior centers, there are only 4 senior centers,
Well, that's what I mean. But,
and I don't know whether they do or not, I
and
just
who
know they
are,
pay
where
per
are
hour.
they? Yeah. Are they in this area or are we the only one here?
There's one of them, There's one in
Yeah,
all-
the senior
all
center
in-
down by the railroad tracks, right?
yeah, but I don't think that's a Catholic. There's one in Laconia, there's one in Alton, there's one in Belmont, there's one in Franklin.
Yeah, okay, so maybe we are, in that case, we are getting, I mean, except for Franklin.
May I point out that just because they're underfunded in Franklin, it's got nothing to do with us. The Belknap County Commission used to provide money towards the CAP fund. And they, in their wisdom, have decided to seriously cut that because what does the county get? You know, it's not like they're bringing Meals on Wheels to the nursing home or, you know, okay, I get it, but that puts the funding onus back on the community. Some communities go, they're gonna bring their stuff in anyway. Well, at a certain point, that becomes unsustainable.
That's how we lost transportation.
And that is how we lost transportation. We don't have the transportation bus that goes back and forth. We don't have that senior bus that used to make a run every day. Because it just simply, that's where they volunteer drivers program, which operates, I was on the committee that set that up. And there is some grant money, but there's certain levels of training, like Jane was saying, there was problems in Tilton because it was felt that it was too restrictive and you had to file paperwork to get your money back. And it's like, hey, we're volunteers, you don't have to be a part of it, but there is a program to help reimburse those people who would help out their neighbors because they can't afford the gas or whatever. You know?
And we had a lot, at one point, we had a lot of volunteer drivers, but the cost of gas went up. They were all senior citizens themselves, the cost of gas went up, and all of a sudden, guess who the volunteer driver was?
You know,
Seriously.
and she was a very big part of that program, or it still is, I don't know.
Yeah, and it was, because people couldn't afford it. And the seniors, I will never forget, and I'm not complaining about this, but I took a senior 3 different times to Dartmouth Hitchcock. She was diabetic, she was on a very fixed income, and I drove her to Dartmouth Hitchcock back and forth 3 different times. And she said, I want to help you out with the gas. And it's like I said, I'm not complaining about this. It was what she had, and she offered me $5. I wouldn't take it, but that's all she had. And we at least at that point in time had a bus that would take people to the Franklin Hospital or take people up to dialysis. Do you know how many people we have in dialysis in Tilton? A lot more than you would ever imagine, I'll tell you.
Veterans Hall, yeah.
And they've gone.
It
Those,
seems like the most
Went because
vulnerable
nobody gave.
population in the town are the ones that are affected by these services, or lack thereof.
we used the bus, Heather used to require that people who came in for welfare get a job right away. They would get an interview, and the bus would take them for their job interview, and actually even take them to work. At J. Jill, no longer a bus, so those people either walk,
Bicycle or.
bicycle, or whatever.
Back, those buses were a certain time, they weren't.
Well, that's
They
true.
made-
only
they
come
would
through
make-
4 times a day or 5 times a
Right,
day.
right.
But now they come
That's-
through no times a
Fall
day.
into that time period, yeah.
And it's like I said, and I think I said this one night around the table, which is basically what Joe was saying, is that if we have people in our town who need the services, and they're making use of that service, and our welfare director is able to manage a small budget because she makes use of those services, then I think we have an obligation to give something to that organization, my opinion.
What we're
And
trying
I
to
think
find out
that's what you're
is
saying, Joe.
We just want the accountability, that's all. We just
No,
want
I
to know
get
that. Yeah,
what's
and I-
going
and
on.
I-
Educated,
Yeah,
We
that's
all
all.
want that.
Yeah.
So that when we go to town meeting and they ask,
Yeah.
although most of the people that go to town meeting take
Yeah,
advantage
and
of
the
it.
thing is, we
Well,
could,
we get
as long as we know the accountability, if people at town meeting want to raise it, then that's fine. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the town's prerogative. So we just want to know,
Or
we have to know. So, because we have to explain it.
So if the, anybody from the budget committee can get back to the selectmen with any of that,
Okay, I'll
and share that.
take that as my
Heather said she's gonna
tomorrow, and I'll get back.
Get back and try to get more, she said everything's discombobulated in Franklin, so she's not getting any answers or anything.
Well, there's
So-
2 new people, I think.
Right, well, she's
So
just,
the problem is that we got crunched, so we only have like 1 week to get all that information, or somebody's gonna make a decision based on
Yeah.
what they think.
So I don't know,
Emotions.
reach out to Heather and see if she can express that, express the important.
Well, she did, she sent it to us in a letter.
Call the director.
I will, the problem is that the 2 people in Concord are brand new.
Oh, wow.
Is
So-
there in the last 6 months a director and then the assistant director?
And then the assistant director are gone.
those are simple questions, they must have that information,
That's just crazy.
you know?
If you can access it with new people who don't know where it's.
Who don't know where
I don't
anything
know.
is, that's-
I don't know.
Well, is it that badly misrun down there?
They now have new people who don't know.
Who don't know where things
Who's supposed
are.
to be keeping that information? Who do you talk to? Oh, they left.
Well, I
Well, they
mean,
supply
there's a
that?
basic, usually there's a basic budgeting process down there, and there should be a basic direction project. I mean, they must have it on a computer.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
wrong,
you've got
maybe
printouts.
everybody
No,
writes
I'm
it
sure
down.
they do, but probably
You've
the
got
person
printouts,
doesn't
right?
know where to
Yeah.
look for it on the computer, so,
Don't speculate.
I have Joan Beretta's private number, I'll call her.
I think
I'll
that
get that'll do.
the other issue would be that they just don't have time to do it because they're talking with, trying to get their house in order.
It's budget
Because they're
season
but they're
all
learning,
over. And
And
they've
they're
got
learning all their.
12 different communities or
Right,
whatever.
right.
And another thing to remember is that we're Belknap County, Franklin isn't. Franklin's Merrimack County.
Well, it's Belknap Merrimack Community
Yeah.
Action, so they.
But they may handle them differently, that's all I'm
That
saying.
could,
I wonder if Merrimack County supplies more money through the.
I asked that
And that's
question,
why
and I was
they don't
said,
need
told
to
no.
budget.
They didn't provide any, that's what, when they were here, I asked that. Neither county provided anything.
Yeah. The other question was, when the selectmen asked for information on the island concerts, if we could provide a financial sheet for that.
Oh, we had, didn't she send it in October?
And unfortunately, somehow, things didn't get passed over to the selectmen.
I can't find my budget book, so I don't know. But it was last year, year before, for certain.
No, it was sent in. She sent it in October. I just have to find, we'll have to find it.
Yeah, I have-
The
Joanna.
selectmen did approve to fund it, but somebody asked,
Some
see
do
how that
know,
worked,
but-
get an understanding of, we thought there was like a fund and a trust fund. And also this money was coming, explain that it's $2,000 from each town, contributors, and whatever else is left, the family writes a check for it.
Right.
So, and that's what they wanted to see how it works.
They know.
If they say they don't know, then they could have
Oh,
forgotten.
I'm saying that when we went through the 2 year with
They could have forgot, I think you didn't understand how it worked either.
No, someone explained to me last time.
Yeah.
Still half like, I'm like, okay.
So be prepared to stay late next time. Bring your surf and turf.
What is that? Should we hold her out till like
That's
Tilton House or
next
something?
The public hearing scheduled for,
So are we meeting with?
February 6th, the day after my birthday, so be sure to bring all your
Birthday
birthday
gifts. All right.
And cake, don't forget the cake.
And the cake.
which one next week?
Bye, Joe.
Yeah.
See you, kids.
And then we're going to
Have a good night, Joe.
You
fill
too.
out all the sheets and the voting.
So is that like the selectmen's, we're comparing selectmen's or just,
We do ours.
okay, we're just doing ours and Kim's helping.
What-
Can I
budgets.
can I just real quick say something?
Yeah,
Kevin wants to do the radios over 2 years.
yeah.
I think it'd be better to have them done this year, personally. It's more safety, and if they're in same contact, all right, good.
They have radios now.
Do they?
Just crap radio.
If they're crap, then why not just upgrade them now?
All at the same
you know?
time, yeah.
Right.
It's all the same, not just a
It
new
would be
model.
easier, and it's better for,
We brought it
That's a
up
good
to
point.
him, and he said that presently, that what's going on is, the other ones are working great.
okay.
And he's replacing the oldest verse, and the one that needs to be replaced next year had a microphone problem,
Okay.
or that they just replaced.
I
This
just
other
want
one
to
is
bring
showing
it up
no
because,
So he wanted to do it to keep it low,
yeah.
and also to.
But I mean, he's done an amazing job.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm looking at this and it's like, well, you could get your radios now, you know?
See what this, the cost of savings on the salary, 2 positions to 1 really is a big cost savings.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a key thing.
And the equipment purchasing, I
And
know
we
is gonna be a lot
combined
better.
his position, like previously you would have a public works director that would be a crackerjack at paving, or
Right.
at sewer,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that, and so what we did, and they would just call him public works director. So what we did is, he found Pete, who's from Northfield, who we
He's good, he's
swiped
really
over,
good.
who knows a lot of that stuff. So Pete's like, you know, he's the
The foreman.
foreman, so
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
in charge of that, so restructured it, and Kevin set that up. And now Kevin does that, and he may not have that road or pipeline stuff, but he has the mechanic, so he took that apart, put that there, and put the.
Sure.
Pete's
It's a good idea.
We created a new position as a public works technician,
Yeah.
as opposed to public works in lower
Your fight,
irrigation.
right?
Yeah, because I mean, if you had just taken over public,
So-
He's a really good.
That's
Every time I see him,
eliminating
he's
that.
literally just like breaking his
That guy.
back. Right, everybody else,
right, because if you
really
had just
hard
taken over
working guy.
director, we'd have to find
He's the
another
one that
And we
buys
promoted
Little one, yeah.
the sidewalk plow.
Does
That's
anybody
great.
else have any
Nope,
further?
motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. As soon as this turns off, I'm gonna tell you a story about
A story?
how good mechanic, what a good mechanic he is. What do I hit here to turn this off?
You have a good one. We're gonna go out there for the sand driveway.
Thank you. Anytime.
Yeah, John, I'll get it tomorrow morning, we'll sand it,
No.
make sure it's all good.
I know for a
I'm gonna pick up some salt tomorrow.
Um,
It's just happening. In my yard again. I guess it's snowing like crazy, I was looking at my camera, snow squalls.
Don't worry about
Oh, I
it.
have.
It
It's
does.
a snowstorm.
I know, we got a foot coming.
I can't wait to,
I'm
I
ready.
can even
Can't
use
wait
a
till
table
that.
saw, you know, it's not a big deal, but thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
That's
Sometime
that's
around
not
the
everything
winter.
I do know.
All right.
He's using salt
You
brine,
can toss me
free
a
treating
bucket or
solutions on
something.
sidewalks.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
he has.
He's very smart.
Yeah, I know, outside
He's a
that.
great
I can try to get him like a salt sand, maybe you can see like slide your door with a full sheet.
Yep,
At least with a cover so it doesn't get all
yes,
wet.
I'll take that, I can do that, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you, take care.
What's that?
Dennis
on
House.
it. It was good, actually.
He was good at the campus.